So, everybody was Club Brugge today, even though nobody cares about City, and this bitch from Nottingham was also watching it. But apparently nobody cares about City. Too bad. You guys wasted an afternoon hate watching us. Alright, we got one of these football knowledge type of ordeals again. Who is the best player to have never won the Ballon d'Or? We got some absolute ballers here. Oh my goodness. Straight off the bat, no offense, I'm going to be kicking out Zlatan Ibrahimovic out straight away. And Gianluigi Buffon, one of the greatest ever. But unfortunately, goalkeepers are not going to be winning the Ballon d'Or. That's just the way it is. Do I go by player quality here, or do I go by like specific season? I think that might be a little bit more interesting. If I were to rank all these players, I think Paolo Maldini would be the highest ranked player here. I'm not kidding. I think he would crack the top 20 best players of all time, maybe even top 15. He is that good. But we're going to go with individual seasons. I think I'm going to take out Paolo Maldini. So Ibra out, Maldini out, Gianluigi Buffon is out. I'm going to take Xavi out because I think Iniesta's a little bit closer, especially what he did in 2010. Luis Suarez, 2016. Neymar, you could do a couple of seasons for Neymar, but I didn't think, maybe 2015 for Neymar. Thierry Henry, obviously, losing out to Nedved. I'm going to take out Andres Iniesta. I'm going to take out Luis Suarez as well. I'm going to be taking out Neymar. So it's going to be Henry and Lewandowski. And this is basically for individual type of seasons. The reason is because I think they were the closest ones. You're not saying that they are so much better than, Xavi and Iniesta and Neymar, but the players that won the Ballon d'Or are Cristiano Ronaldo and Lionel Messi during those years. Lewandowski's year got canceled. He should have won, in my opinion. And Thierry Henry should have won the Ballon d'Or. This is a pretty good litmus test for football knowledge, because if you think Pavel Nedved was a rubbish player, you know nothing about the sport. But I think I'm going to give this to Lewandowski. I don't think he's the best player here. I don't even think he would be in the top 5 best players here. However, I think that season there was literally nobody else that anybody was talking about for the Ballon d'Or.
عاد السيتي للسيطرة، عاد السيتي للاستحواذ، عاد السيتي للانتشار، عاد السيتي للخطورة. الله! تكب.
He was special.
With each passing second, each passing hour, each passing day, I'm starting to see Riyad Mahrez into this guy, but I don't want to keep making those comparisons, though. People will make it left-footed, number 26, as a winger, right winger. Savinho was absolutely stunning. He pretty much changed the game. Shout out to a couple other players. We're going to get into them later. But Savinho was absolutely incredible. He changed the game, the electrifying pulse that we needed for this game. He was dynamic. He was getting into some amazing attacking positions. He was a threat from all angles, both feet. He was absolutely stunning. Savinho, that pass to Gavardiol.
It was perfect. Perfect.
The first ever Champions League format is now officially over. Looking at the actual standings, Liverpool, obviously the best team in the world football right now. Best team in Europe, that's no question. Barcelona, second best team, could arguably be the best team in the world right now. Arsenal in third, Atletico Madrid, Leverkusen, Aston Villa getting into the last guaranteed space at 8th. We have Atalanta, Dortmund, Real Madrid. They squeeze all the way to 11th. Back-to-back wins, 6 points. That's what the best team does. Same thing with PSG. Back-to-back wins versus Manchester City and now Stuttgart. And they scraped into... They didn't really scrape. They got into 15, so well-deserved place for Paris Saint-Germain. This is just absolutely diabolical. Club Brugge in 24th, Sporting Manchester City in 22nd. Just below Celtic, who is going to be our next opponents.
It's gonna be so much fun!
It's gonna be so much fun.
Imagine these knockout playoff matches here. Monaco versus Paris Saint-Germain, Manchester City versus Real Madrid, Juventus versus AC Milan. Are we even going to get past Celtic? Don't play that whole, oh, back your team, stop, why don't you just be a proper fan? No, no, no. We cannot look at Real Madrid and Bayern München right now. We have to be looking at Celtic. That is not the Manchester City way. That's not the mentality of Guardiola. Of course we're going to beat Celtic. Of course it's an easy win. No, it isn't. The fact that even if we beat Celtic, we have to go up against either Real Madrid or Bayern München is absolutely just frustrating to say the least. But again, if you want to be the best, you're gonna have to beat the best. I mean, how many times have we heard that in the last couple of years in this competition? Right? And Kylian Mbappe is getting into form. Rodrygo is obviously getting into form. Of course, he is the player that I'm always fearful of whenever we play against Real Madrid. It's not Vinicius, it's not Bellingham, it's not Mbappe, it's not Rudiger, it's Rodrygo. Looking at these matchups, Monaco versus Brest, I would go for Monaco. Sporting versus Club Brugge. I think Sporting edge it just for me. Celtic versus Manchester City. I'm obviously going to back my team, but again, it's going to be a tough matchup. Feyenoord against Juventus, I have absolutely no idea who's going to be winning that match because Feyenoord did beat Bayern München 3-0. Juventus isn't the juggernaut that they once were. Just because they beat City doesn't mean they're back. Anybody can beat us. Feyenoord, that's going to be such an amazing game. Paris Saint-Germain versus Benfica. Oh, that is going to be an incredible game. Pavlidis, whatever his name is for Benfica, has been scoring at an alarming rate. Paris Saint-Germain is obviously finding their footing. Dembele is playing like one of the best football players in the world right now. Yes, Armageddon is upon us because Dembele is sensational. Oh my god, and they're adding kovacic. Atalanta versus Dortmund, that is going to be cool. Martin Darun, Ederson, I mean, so many sensational players at Atalanta versus Dortmund. Real Madrid versus Bayern München. I mean, I'm going to go for Real Madrid. They got the refs in their pocket. I'm just kidding. Milan versus PSV. I'm going to go for... I actually have no idea because Milan looked so atrocious against Dynamo Zagreb. They ruined everybody's parlays. I know. If you did it, I know Milan fucked you over. And they weren't the only team, but they were definitely one of them. This man right here. This man. Croatian excellence right here. Oh my goodness. Kovacic, the way he just glides past players, the way he carries the ball, one of the most elite ball carriers, one of the most underrated ball carriers in the last decade in world football. I am not kidding, ladies and gentlemen. He is so incredibly underrated. A large amount of City fans were getting on him because of his last game, because of his previous game against Paris Saint-Germain. And I was absolutely appalled by some of the reactions from some of the fans. Because he is nowhere near his prime, playing out of position. Yes, he's had a couple of mistakes. That Paris Saint-Germain game was definitely one of them. But today was absolutely brilliant. The spark that we needed. The ability to drive at players, go into space, and thread a nice, beautiful pass type of shot into the bottom right-hand corner was the stuff of dreams. That goal reminded me of Kevin De Bruyne's goal against Newcastle.
Nice.
Morgan Rogers, the first player in Champions League history to score twice in the opening 5 minutes of a game in the competition. That is cold. Cole Palmer, you better take some notes, boy.
Yeah, boy.
But again, both of them have something in common. They were ours and we let them go. It just pains me. If Morgan Rogers turns out to be another world-class talent that Manchester City have let go, I am going to jump into a bonfire naked.
What?
The ability to carry the ball with his pace and his power and his strength is something that we rarely see in world football today. He's such a unique player. I hope he continues to do what he's doing. Morgan Rogers, absolute gem.
We fucked up.
With a flick, Hakimi had continued his run. And Dembele does it again!
I think I read a stat that only Lewandowski, Salah, Rafinha, and maybe one other player, and Mbappe, have more non-penalty goals than Ousmane Dembele this season. And that's just crazy. Dembele is playing as one of the best players in the world right now. And PSG with Barcola and Vitinha and Zaire Emery and all these players, and Hakimi, Nuno Mendes, Donnarumma. PSG is coming about, and they're adding Kovacic into that team. I don't know if he would start, in my opinion, because I rate Barcola so highly, but regardless, PSG is going to be a problem.
Oh, shit.
Looking at some stats from John Stones. 2 assists, we got an incredible amount of accurate passes, a lot of touches, 7 recoveries, 4 aerial duels, 2 accurate long balls, 1 big chance created, 1 touch in the opposition box. John Stones is reinventing the entire sport in front of our eyes. John Stones is one of the most uniquely talented defenders of our generation. I was surprised he played more than 20 seconds. Medical team did something crazy. Y'all deserve the Nobel Prize for that. That was absolutely insane. When John Stones has the ball, when he's spraying passes out wide, my confidence level for the game just increases tenfold because he can find those pockets of spaces. He can do most things that the vast majority of defenders can't. He can play in that CDM role and spray passes out whenever he wants. He has that ability, and it showed here. John Stones, underdog today.
It has been, in a word, exquisite.
This is what I was talking about earlier. Rodrygo, since December, WTF, yes. I think I saw a stat that he had like 10 goals and 4 assists in his last 11 games. Disgusting! He sees Real Madrid have the potential to play Manchester City, so of course he's getting into form in the Champions League. This guy scares me more than pretty much any other player on the planet, in my opinion, unless it's Tottenham Hotspur. Imagine Rodrygo on Tottenham Hotspur.
No! No!
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that concludes another episode of Football Twitter. I apologize that this is not a standard match reaction. I will do that for the Arsenal game 100%. I was driving to meet some friends to watch this game, but I got caught up in some traffic and I had some car trouble, so I missed actually a good, decent chunk of the game, and I am so freaking happy. Josko Gvardiol, Kovacic, John Stones, Savinho. Those 4 players take a fucking bow. Exquisite. I will see you all next time.